Hello, everybody. How is everyone this Sunday, August 21st? This summer has gone by so quickly. But I tell you what, I think I'm ready for fall because this damp, humid, hot, although it hasn't really been that hot lately here, but like right now, it's got to be 100% humidity out there. It is crazy. So how is everybody? Oh, yay. Betty, I hope you got my email back to you today because Betty had sent me an email on the 17th. And I missed it until today. So I'm so excited. Hello, Kathy. So good to see you. And Jody. Yay. I've even got pictures from Jody, who was feeling good enough yesterday to actually get some of her work done. So that's exciting. I love it. So it has been a busy week. And this morning I cleaned most of the house. I'm tired. So, but anyway, you don't seem to have sound. I wonder where you can turn it on because hopefully everyone else can hear me. I made sure to turn the microphone on today. So let's see all who's here. Marsha's here. And Nadine, hi. Oh, wait until you see the pictures Nadine sent. She's been having such fun. And she is back to her full creative self. It is amazing. So glad to see Jody. Gosh, you don't know how good it is to see that name. Betty Middleton have some good pictures from her. So, Alberta Powell from Alabama. Hi, sweetie. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. So this is absolutely wonderful. And, cleaning up. It's so funny. Now that I've cleaned up my room, I don't like anything messing it up. So let me see if I can show you guys some of the clean room. And then we'll talk about this quilt in just a minute. But let me pull this over here for a minute. But, come on. All right. Just wanted to show you that those are the white trays I have. Those are my stacking trays to put projects in. I still have my pet portrait there, ready for me to finish him at some point. Then I have the machine that my Elna set up for my granddaughter for right now. And then all of her Anastasia gown fabric is right there. And we're making pretty good progress too. And so then everything is pretty well stacked, organized. You can even see the front of the fireplace for a change. The floor is clean. My cutting area of my desk is clean. All right, now let me move this over a little bit because this is the exciting part. This cutting table right here, this one right here, was stacked so high for so long, and now it's almost totally cleaned off. And then beyond that, do you see that gray counter? Let me see if I can zoom in. That gray counter back there was chock-a-block stacked full, and now it's all cleaned off. And the floor is all nice and clean, and everything's put in the closet. And then even my ironing station is cleaned up. So, how cool is that? I finally did it. And you don't know how good it feels. But now when I come down here, I tell myself, you don't leave here until everything's put away. Because That was a lot of hard work, and I don't want to have to work that hard anymore. Diana B., you're here. So here, let me show you the quilt for today is this absolutely precious quilt I made probably 10 years ago, or maybe a little bit more even. And it is a beach houses quilt. And, oh man, I should have found the pattern information for you. But it was mostly paper pieced. And the most fun thing about this quilt was all of the embellishments we put on it. Hold on, let me bring it forward here so you can see it. Okay. So we did, the waves were paper pieced. The cabanas were paper pieced. Isn't it cute? The little beach huts, the palm trees were paper pieced. And then we went on a search for decorative fabric, and I cut out and appliqued on like a little sand bucket, a sand castle, chairs. I put shiny buttons on. This is a starfish button, little pretend sailboat. I even found some fabrics with kids swimming. And then I also put sea turtles on it. I put sea horses on it. Then I found some fabric that was seagulls and put those on it. It was like, let's see. I cut this out of some fabric and put that on. So it was, and I even did things like with the beach ball, I put, I trapuntoed those. I put batting behind them so they would stand out. And I have a pink flamingo button here, and I have an applique pink flamingo right here. So I just had fun. I put a parrot on a roof. We just had fun. I found some surfboards to put on it and did all kinds of little appliques and buttons. And I ended up teaching this class. And so what we did is I said, bring in, let me get this back. I told them to bring in your fabric, your buttons, your embellishments. And if you are willing to share, then you can enjoy what others brought in and share that. And so it became a lot of fun. And we did it over the winter because it's not something that can be done or can be taught in 2 or 3 days. So it was a lot of fun. So I will have to, beach cabanas or beach houses, I'll have to look up and find the name of that pattern. But it is just so much fun. And, I forgot to show you. Over in this corner is a sunblock. Can you see that sunblock right there? So that is a lot of fun. And it was a wonderful class to take because it really taught me how to look at perspectives and how to blend fabrics, but how to make some stand out, just the whole thing. Oh, what's Jody talking about? This is great. It was absolute fun to make it. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, and Jody has been on the real hard stuff this time. I'll show you a picture. She is taking now, she has 4 weeks of treatment called the Red Devil, and she's been doing so good. I tell you, when she wrote me the email telling me about the treatment, oh my God, it just took my breath away. And I realize we're all sending her all the best wishes, but she's she's put her faith in medicine, and she has been going the whole distance. And I'm so grateful to her for fighting like this. And I know that she's going to be rewarded for all of her bravery. It is amazing. So we just love just 3 more. Yay, yay, yay. This is what, 4 months of treatment altogether, Miss Jody? So it's a lot, but you are always, as always, right in our hearts. And oh, I'm so glad, hon. I wish we could do more. I wish we could do more. But we just love you to bits. Oh, that is so sweet. Isn't it wonderful to have Nadine back? She is our joy, our sunshine. And I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I wrote in the email, I want to come live in her world. Because Miss Nadine creates this magical, wonderful, Hobbit-like, old world charm world. And, I want to be a part of that. So I said, I'll just stand in the corner of your studio and not bother you. I just want to, absorb that wonderful feeling and watch all the stuff you create. So, oh my goodness, that's wonderful. I am very thirsty today. I think it was because I worked hard cleaning the house and I sweated a lot too. Okay. Here's what I'm going to give you a little heads up about my schedule coming up. I'm going to go see my grandsons the end of this week. So I'll probably leave like 6 a.m. on Friday. And Mark's going to stay here to take care of the dogs because, trying to board 3 dogs is a little tough. So he's going to stay here and I'm going to travel. And it's just going to be a short trip. It's going to be Friday through Sunday. And I am not going to promise that I'm going to have a show next Sunday. Because by the time I drive 6 hours home, I'm probably not going to feel like doing a show. I hope you will forgive me if I take next Sunday off. I'm hoping to be here this Thursday night. But if I get running too late or I feel like it'd be better to do that show on Wednesday, I'll try to give you as much notice and bump it up a day. But if not, for right now, we'll keep Thursday where it is. Let's see how good I can do. Oh, thank you. And then I'm not promising a show next Sunday. So I won't even put it on the thing unless I all of a sudden decide I get home early and I feel so excited to tell you everything. But I have a feeling I'm going to come dragging in. I'm not used to taking care of a just turned 2 years old and a 3-year-old. That's going to be exhausting. And I'm going to love every moment. I'm going to just absorb them in and have so much fun. But they're going to keep Nana busy. I can tell you that right now. So, what is this? Aw. Oh, I know. You get to Sundays. Yeah, because it's like, I even feel sad on Sunday night because I know Mark, even though he stays home and works for right now, it's like, oh, the fun time is over. So I understand. Nobody likes Sundays. I still, even though I'm retired finally, I shouldn't say finally because I've been fortunate enough to retire a little early, but I still sometimes have a bad dream where I'm late to work. And it always seems I'm late to it when I was a substitute teacher. And you can't leave a class of little kids waiting. So I understand the Sundays. It's like, bummer. Hey, Mitty, how are you, sweetie? And it's good to see Diana B. I hope I've gotten everybody's name. And That is just wonderful. Okay. Whoops. I'm making a mess over here. So, I've got so much to show you. Being down here and with my granddaughter, and a lot of times when she'd go to say goodbye, then I would get one more thing done. And boy, that really helped. But here is our Thursday night, which we're going to finish this coming week. Here is our Thursday night wacky faces. And I was looking too representational. I did put it on my favorite lake because that's my heart and soul is my lake. And I've been camping on that lake since I was just a kid, just a little kid. And but I was getting too representational. And then a little magical elf named Jody wrote me a great email and gave me some wonderful, fun, wacky hints to bring the fun into it. I have to admit, I'm a little literal. You know what I'm saying? I have a hard time. I don't know if I could be a cartoonist. I don't. I love them. There's this one guy in the Washington Post, Galifianakis. He is amazing. And I look at his art because he illustrates for an advice columnist named Carolyn Hacks. And I look at his work and I love it. But I don't think I could ever do it. I don't know. I'm so literal in my brain. Let me close these blinds. The sun is coming in and it's very bright. So let me stand up real quick to grab this. Much, much better. Okay. Oh no, buffering. You know what? Mark and I noticed that we had buffering with because we get streaming television now, and it's been buffering a couple times. What's that about? I'm so sorry, Nadine. Nadine, if it bothers you too much, don't worry. We understand. And you got work tomorrow, so we understand. But you know what? Let's do something. Since Nadine has to go to work tomorrow, and since she's having buffering problems, let's go to show and tell and show you, especially I want you, while Nadine is here, let's see the things that pictures she sent in. Okay, is that okay with everybody? Don't go anywhere afterwards because we have our mystery quilt to do. And I have the finished version here for you. All right, here we go, everybody. And it was the easiest little mystery quilt, let me tell you. All right, now, isn't that the weirdest looking screen? Ooh, that's neat. All right, let me get back up here. Miss Alexis, we remember her most recent. And look at that. Isn't that amazing? Well, now here is her new one. That was the beginning drawing. Now look. Oh, no, that was a beginning drawing for something else. Wait a minute. I don't know. Maybe she started another one. And then here is her latest. And this one is Pharma something. Pharma Glam. But isn't that great? I love it. I can't wait to see because I know she's not done yet. I betcha. All right, let's see who's next. And B, wait till you see. B's beautiful granddaughter came over and they are going to make cupcakes. Is that the cutest? Oh, she's so excited. You can tell that she can't wait to make cupcakes with Nana. So that is fabulous. I love it. All right. What a beautiful little girl. Okay, let's see. I call her an English Rose. Oh, Miss Betty has been busy. Okay, you guys might remember this wonderful quilt that she did. Well, it's on the wall of her local quilt shop, and she's going to be teaching a class in it. Isn't that fabulous? I love it. So way to go, Miss Betty. Now, then she went to see family and then went to a quilt retreat, and she got to take classes from Linda Hahn, but she made these for her daughter. Her daughter is the lead teacher for a group of autistic 5-year-olds. And what a wonderful, wonderful thing. And so she made these so her daughter could hand them out as gifts. Isn't that wonderful? And whoop, there it is. Let me see if I can turn it sideways. Hold on. Oh, look at that. How cute. Oh, and I love the words in this. Smile often, live and love deeply, forgive quickly, be happy, play hard, no regret. Isn't that lovely? Way to go, Miss Betty. Your daughter is so lucky. Then look what Miss Betty has been working on. Isn't that amazing? I just love that. And then I think there is her other one. And I love that she put all kind of embellishment on the beach for this. So she's going to add in horizon. Now, if any of you have any advice on where she should place the horizon, let her know. I was thinking up along here so that it wouldn't take your eye away from the wonderful blue heron. But since you're all here, if any of you have suggestions where she could put the horizon, and I told her, with this background, the horizon might want to be a little foggy so that all of your emphasis, your attention goes right here. But I love, love, love how she embellished the beach. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, wow. Beautiful. So thank you, Miss Betty. We appreciate seeing your beautiful, beautiful work. And I think I hope you're still there. Okay, I might have cut out for just a moment. I accidentally, I think, touched the turn off button. All right. But thank you, Miss Patty. And if anyone wants to give her suggestions where they think that the horizon should go, feel free. Now, Miss Charlene sent me these last week, and I love them. Let me see if I can bring this up. Look at this. And the way she did the wave, and the way the sun shines through like a green. You know how a wave, when it gets thin and the sun shines through, the water looks green? That is just beautiful, beautiful. Oh, and Miss Betty was talking about how did she do the lighthouse beam coming out there. How did she do that? You can see that there's fabric. You can see the striations of the fabric through it. So I said I had two guesses. One is that she cut a piece of tulle and put on there. The other one would be maybe she used a white ink tint or very thin paint and put that, painted very crisp lines of the beam coming out. So maybe she'll check in and let us know how she really did that beam, because that's amazing. Love, love, love it. I love that fabric. Oh my gosh. I love ombre, striated, you name it, I love it. All right. Then I don't really think I have much new. Let me see. Hmm. I think it's everything I've already shown you. So, but it doesn't hurt to look at this quilt garden at the Botanic Garden in Asheville, North Carolina. That is just beautiful. And I'm starting to think now that these are chrysanthemums that are going to be coming into their full glory very soon. But that is beautiful. All right, so that's it for me. Oh, I did have a few other pictures, but I'll see if I can come up with them. All right. Now, Diana sent me a couple extras too. You remember her starfish that she almost threw away that ended up getting a second place in a local contest or at a quilt show? Then here is her amazing um, personalized landscape of her granddaughter and her dog looking at minnows in the water. Wonderful thread work in that, hon. Beautiful. That is just, if I ever did something that good, I would be thrilled for the rest of my life. And look at her kitty with all that thread work. Then here is an amazing, I love this take on the American flag. Look at this. These were quilts of valor for two different people. And they're lovely. I love the way this comes out towards that star in the corner. And the way she quilted it is perfect. Stars here, ribbon candy, bars, and here is she re-emphasized the shape of that dart by the quilting. So really good job. Then look what she's doing. She's fabric painting a lion. In fact, it's a tiger, a Siberian tiger it looks like. I'm not sure. There's one here and here, so I think it might be the Siberian tiger. But is that amazing? And the eyes so far, phenomenal. Very talented. I am so glad Diana came and joined our group because we love having such talented people. It inspires us. And as usual, love that sailing photo. Love it. Okay, now let's see who's next. Miss Jody. This is the bravest woman. This picture and her description made me realize she's braver than I think I've ever had to be. She's so amazing. And you might not be able to tell because it's a little blurry, but she's giving the thumbs up. What a dear. Gosh. I know that she's an inspiration to all who treat her because, I'm sure they hear their fair share of complaining. Now, Miss Jody has been working on several blocks of the month quilt things. And yesterday, she actually felt good enough to go work in her room. And I'm so tickled. I love this Christmas quilt here that's in progress. Look at this. I love that. Isn't that wonderful? And then this is the block of the month from the quilt show. So it looks like this at least is new. There might be even more. I mean, it's beautiful. So this makes my heart happy because this tells me that Miss Jody is hopefully very soon will be back with us and be amazing us with her work. So thank you, Miss Jody. Thank you for fighting so hard. I know it's selfish of us in a way, but we just want you back with us and creating the way you do, hon. Okay, let me see. I don't have a new one yet from Miss Mary, but let's see. I don't think I have one from Miss Marcia, but I do have some things from Miss Melanie. Look at Miss Melanie's wonderful hat. I think she called this oh boy, what did she call it? If anybody knows, but not like a pot hat. I mean, like a container or bowl or something. I've forgotten now. But look at her beautiful, beautiful machine embroidery. Oh my gosh, I have never tried it, and it scares me to even look at, but that is beautiful. What a great placemat. All right, let's see her next one. Oh, look at this one. This looks like a spring. So she had a fall placemat, and here is a beautiful spring placemat. And I see home written here, and home, love and home. Oh, that is so sweet. Love them. And this looks like a kind of pot holder, I think. Is that what that is? A mitt pot holder? And look, isn't it beautiful? She loves having that machine. And look at this. Isn't that great? I love that. And then my very favorite one is this one. Look at that fishing hat. I love it. Okay, I think that, yep, that's for Miss Melanie. So Miss Melanie, keep up the great, great work. All right. Now, is it Nadine time? Let's see. Yes, it's Nadine time. Whoop, go back down, Deb. All right, here we go. Miss Nadine, you all sit back and enjoy. Get a cup of coffee, because Miss Nadine has been very, very productive. So let's get ready. All right. Let me see. Here we go. Okay. Here is a wonderful quilt that she was working on. Let's see. Here it is. So she finished and she was putting the binding on. And I think she said she put the binding on by machine, or was it hand? Now I've forgotten. I've gotten confused. I love her kitty cat quilt up here. And she's got a very nice long arm. I know she loves that. Okay, here's another one. Oops. Okay. Oh, look at this. She got so excited making the granny squares. Granny squares? I hope it just, yeah, have you ever said something that just sounded a little odd and you're not sure? She made these to hold her granny squares in. Okay, here's another shot of that wonderful K-facet fabric quilt. And then look at wonderful, called Sunshine Quilt. Isn't that sweet? I love the label. Then look at this bag. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? She put the zipper on an angle. I love the way that she has done the little pleat in the fabric. Wow. And her choice in fabrics and colors is just magical. Love it. Look at her yarn. Ooh, tell you what, that is some gorgeous yarn. The way she takes a granny square and she brings it right up to the present day by her wonderful choice of colors. Okay. Here, oh, I love her loops. Loops make a quilt happy. And here are, and she's like me, we've gotten all excited about crocheting again. Then she decided, I think she said her spools of yarn were getting jealous because they didn't have something made for them. So she made some wonderful fabric baskets to store her yarn in. Isn't that great? And I love her fabrics. That's why I said, I just want to go live in her studio because it just looks so beautiful, so charming. But I love the care and attention she puts to everything she does. And she's a good photographer. I love the way she photographs her work. And look at this. This is the selvage. And she decided not to waste it because it's so cute. And so she made a handle for her little tote with that selvage. And I love the zipper. Oh, that is a beautiful zipper. Look at this. I just love it. Look at those wonderful straight lines. Look at that. Very talented woman. There's probably not much she can't do. Look at that basket. So I think she used a very stiff interfacing for it to hold it together. This is the inside of that pouch she made. Love it. And that's the zipper of, I think this was a pillow to match. Yeah, this was a pillow to match the quilt she made. And look, all of her granny squares are tucked inside the pouch. I love that. Gosh, isn't that charming? I just get so excited when I see Nadine's pictures. Look at this. They're so happy. Oh, and look at that. Not only, she crocheted a flower for the zipper pull. Now, is that just amazing or what? I mean, come on, that's amazing. I love it. So she enjoyed, because, well, if you're going to start quilting, then you have to get materials. You have to get some yarn. And isn't that fun? I love gathering my supplies as much as anything I create. All right. And then I heard from Nazi. She said, sorry she's been so busy, and I told her not to worry one bit. Look at this great quilt she did. I love it, and I love all those individual circles of grapes appliqued on there. So wonderful job, Miss Nazi. Look at this lovely quilt. Gosh, that's beautiful. Looks like an Easter quilt with the cross and the lilies and the He is risen. That's beautiful. Wonderful job, hon. Then she did the same. My daughter, I gave this kit to my daughter. It's a paint by number. She did the same one. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love that. And then guess what? She saw my fabric and she went and got herself some too. Now she's trying to figure out, how am I going to use that? So hopefully in another month or two, I'll be able to start on mine too. So that's exciting. So thank you, Nazi, for sending those wonderful photos, hon. We miss you, but when you can join us, that's fine. Otherwise, just know we're thinking about you. All right. Now, Polly, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yes. Let's look at these one more time, because feast your eyes on the Cafe Magic. He is something else, isn't he? I was just reading a little article about him in the Aurifil. I signed up for the Aurifil newsletter. And he says he doesn't do much sewing, but he loves the colors in the Aurifil thread line. And he often suggests to his sewers to put a red with a green. You know, don't worry about being so matchy. So, remember, you heard it right from Kay Facet, gals. Don't feel like you have to be matchy. See what you can add to the mix. Here is the quilt that Miss Polly is making. And can't wait to see her quilt. That's quite a project. Miss Polly says she hasn't been quilting that long, but boy, does she jump in with amazing projects. So she learns fast. All right, is that, nope. We've got something else right here from Miss SJ over in England. And I'm hoping they're going to get some rain, please. Oh, I was telling everyone on Thursday night, there's a farmer over in England, and she's been filling up all of these water jugs and going out and putting watering stations for the wildlife because she's so worried that they're going to die of thirst. And she put cameras out, and she gets amazing videos of all the different wild animals coming to drink from the water she supplies them. So I just love good stories like that. There are so many good people in the world. Now here are Miss SJ's, I think it was SJ maybe, or was it Marcia that started us on this craze. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the inspiration. Oh, I love it. I love her half squares. Beautiful. And then, she's been working on Lisa Capon quilts, Quilt As You Go. If you always wondered, what is QYAG? That's Quilt As You Go. And it's a way of making this block, then quilting it with batting and backing, then stitching it to the next one. And that way, if you don't have a long arm, you can make a quilt without putting it on a great big long arm. Makes it a little simpler in some ways. So I can't wait to see Lisa Capon's quilt finished. Now, let me see. If I have time later, I'll try to look at my phone and see some little pictures that I took this week. I forgot they're on the phone. I made sure to get y'all's off the computer, but I forgot mine. All right. Let me come back to y'all. And I love the photos you send. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing your work with us. And it doesn't have to be current work. It can be something that you have created. If it's something that you want to create or you've started, just let us know. So, hello. Oh, hello, Christine Curry-Poor. We love Lisa Capon. Isn't she something? Welcome, welcome. Oh, thank you. I wanted everyone to see your amazing work while you were still here. And I know you've got to get to work. So if you're willing to show up here on a work night, then we'll show our show and tell early just for you, Miss Nadine, because we love you, girl. Love you. All right. So what fun. Oh, look at Carol. Carol, you are such a dear heart. And Christina, you make sure to tell Lisa that we were saying beautiful things about her. So she is a wonderful lady. So, okay, everybody. Let me show you some other things I've been working on this week. Do you remember the fabric that I painted? I finally put it together. So I hope you like this. And since this was the one done with acrylic paint, so it kind of makes the fabric a little thick. So I'll show you when I stitched it together, I went ahead and let me press this last one. I pressed my seams open because with the fabric being thick, it's just too much to try to quilt through. And that's if I quilt this. I might tie it or quilt it with embellishing. But I have to be honest. Mark said, Deb, I really like that. It was trying to fit. I painted the fabric in big stripes and then cut it up into 2.5-inch, 3-inch blocks. I cut it into 3-inch squares. Then what you do is you turn them opposite ways and put them back together and create your own pattern with it. Okay. So this is what I did. And I have to be honest, I really like it. And it was sitting over here and I thought, Deb, do something with that. Oh, I know. It was fun when Lisa would come visit us. And then I would go visit her site, and I haven't done it lately. I've been a little too busy. I have a feeling she's going through the same thing. But we love our Miss Lisa, and we want to keep her in mind. But I heartily recommend you try this. And you just need to get a fabric that you wash. Make sure there's no sizing left in it. Then I would get fabric medium, some kind of textile medium. And you can use acrylic paints, and if you want, thin it a little bit, or if you want the color really bold like this, don't. You paint the fabric, then you let it dry for a couple of days, then you put a cotton rag on top or cotton fabric on top and iron it to set the color. And then you're ready to go. So I do like that. All righty. Got that done this week. Can you tell I'm feeling really good about life? Got the room done, got some things done, and here is my Jenny Beyer that I spilled the soda on 20 years ago and set aside and didn't think about for 20 years. And I still have one more row left, but here is what I put together so far. And remember that I'm sewing it all by hand. Each block has 41 pieces in it, and I've gone through and done a little bit of repair work. Let me tell you about something. This quilt, I made all the blocks except one. I spilled a soda in the bag that was carrying it. The red color ran and messed up the gray background. And you can't see it as good, but trust me, it ran. I didn't know about color catchers back then, so I washed it and put the blocks in the dryer. The problem is this. I'm having a mell of a hess putting the blocks together perfectly because they have lived 20 years apart. Now, we talked about the bias the other week. The bias on these blocks, who knows where the bias is? And they have been washed and dried 2 times as just blocks. So that means the fabric doesn't have anything to hold it in. The blocks, what if I could go back and do it again and they got spilled on, I would have let them dry and then carefully basted around the edge of all the blocks. The basting would have held them in shape. Then I would have put them in a lingerie bag and carefully washed them with a color catcher. And then I would have brought them out and probably just laid them to dry. When they were almost dry, then I would bring them to the ironing board and press them and make sure they're as square as I can get them. These dear blocks were abused because when I saw it, how everything ran, I mean, this one right here, I wish it showed up better on camera, but I mean, you can see some, I mean, it ran all over. So, but now I have one more row, and then I start the inner border, outer border, and the fun thing is I'm going to take you on this journey with me because I'm going to show you how you take a border print and how you can place it on the quilt so that all 4 corners match. So don't worry, I'm going to show you that Miss Beyer, Jenny Beyer's lesson on that. But I really do love this. I think it's striking. I have had to repiece parts of this, adjust a lot of it, repair a couple places, and I'm doing it all by hand, and it will be quilted by hand. So I'm going to see this project through, and that's thanks to you guys, because when I showed the blocks as a cautionary tale, y'all said, "Oh, Deb, you've got to finish that." And you know what? It was like, yes, I need to finish that. So, okay, since we have a mystery to do, we'll start that. But since we've been talking about Miss Jenny Beyer, I brought over my Jenny Beyer borders and my Jenny Beyer kits that I've had, some of them for 23 years maybe, just waiting for me to open them and sew them. So, and what am I waiting for? So as soon as I show you the part 2, the finale of our fall mystery block, then I'll show you all my Jenny Beyer treasures, okay? And I'll show you the quilt that brought me back to quilting, because I hated sunbonnet Sue's. I hated pastel little flowery things. They were ugly. I hated the fabric that was half polyester and half cotton, and I put down quilting. I thought, I'm not doing this. For about 10 years, I just didn't quilt. And then a quilt came along that I fell madly in love with, and I will be sharing that with you. All right, it brought me back to quilting, and now look, it's given me my next life's calling. I used to be quite a gardener, but I'm glad now at this age that I've switched to something just a little bit less strenuous. So, okay. So let me see. I'm looking at my agenda to see. And if you want to know everything about bias, look back. It was either last week or the week before that, and you'll see. All right. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, I showed you the week before that how to trim the bulk out of a quilt. But I do want to say one thing. Be careful of the fabrics you're using. When I put Mark's Indigo quilt on the frame, some of those seams that I trimmed popped open. I didn't realize that the fabric that I dyed with indigo was a more open weave than my background. And so if you cut only 1/8 of an inch seam allowance there, it's real likely for the threads to split, the woven part of the thread to kind of open up. So be very careful. Look at your fabrics. See what the thread count is. See how easy it is to fray, and adjust accordingly. Okay. So last week we worked on half square triangles. And let me give you a quick little recap, and then we'll get to the fun part. So, let me see. Last week's mystery fall wall hanging. And if you've sewed up together all of your half square triangles, you are so close to having this quilt done. I'm serious. So, I wanted you to pick 4 colorways. Group 1, greens. Group 2, golds and browns. And the reason I put golds and browns together, sometimes browns can be kind of boring, so I thought the gold might kind of liven it up. Group 3, rusts and reds. Group 4, oranges. Because I'm so excited about fall, I cannot wait. So what I wanted you to do, and I put the updated instructions are on our website, but if you send me an email, I'll send you the instructions. So what I decided is, instead of cutting out the 2 7/8, cut out 3 inches. Miss Michelle, who belongs to this group, Michelle Lang, she taught me that. She said, Deb, don't struggle with 2 7/8. Just trim it down. That way you'll get a perfect half square triangle. So I wanted you from each of the fall color groups to cut 4 3-inch squares instead of the 2 7/8, and 8 2.5-inch squares, because the 3-inch squares are going to be sewn together to make half square triangles. Then you trim them down. They'll finish at 2.5 inches. Then from the background, you had to cut 4 4.5-inch squares, 16 3-inch squares to go with the colored 3-inch squares, and then 8 2.5 by 4.5 rectangles, and then 4 2.5 by 2.5 squares. Okay. Now I've already got all of the quilt together except for this one last block. Now I'm going to show you what this pattern is going to make. And if anybody has a good clue as to what we're getting ready to make, feel free to shout it out. And I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. All right, so here we go. The mystery is going to be solved in 10 minutes. So, and then if you haven't gotten the pattern already, just please shoot me an email and I'll be happy to. All right, so now I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see how the block goes together, because this is going to solve the mystery. And the reason I like doing mysteries, don't forget, is because I feel like that you can really hone your skills by, you can really hone your skills by working on mysteries, because then you only focus on one thing at a time. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, and I have a chart that I will put on the site that shows you just how to put your blocks together. So I'm going to put this right side around and let you see it. All right. So what it wants you to do is take the 4.5-inch square, put it right down here. Then I have 2 of these 4.5 by 2.5s left over, and one is going to go here. Pardon me for the hiccups. One's going to go there. Then I need to put, now this is where I sometimes get, oh goodness, I keep hiccuping. Okay, I think, well, I'll just place this, and if I need to correct it, okay. And I liked doing a little lighter shades on the outside, as if you'll soon figure out what this is. So, okay. Now I think, is that supposed to be like that? Hold on. I'm trying to work upside down, so let me get another diagram over here. I'll figure this out. Okay. So this one goes this way, and this goes this way, and this goes. And don't worry, because I will give you the diagram and the photos, okay? So now I've got these like this, and I'm going to quickly join this and this so that we can put these together. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to quickly put this one together. Chain piecing is your best friend, let me tell you. Okay. Yep. All right. Now, so let me quickly, always press to the dark. And you can use your fingernail, or you can use a bone folder or a wooden iron, they call them. But go ahead and press these. Now I know that this one went over here and this one went here. Okay, so then if I, whoops, let me bring this up a little bit more. Oh, okay. Let me try to get this, camera needs to tilt. Okay. All right, here we go. So I've got it like this, and I've got it like this. Now, that's cute, Marsha. Okay. Oh, good idea. Yes, you can use like what they call a wallpaper seam roller. Yes. That works beautifully. I'm trying to look for my little wooden, here it is. All right. So here's my little wooden iron. Okay, we've got that. Now what I need to do is put two solids and a half square triangle together. So here is the fabric, and I'm going to kind of lay them out. And this 1 2.5 inch square, I'll go ahead and tell you, that's going to go in this outer corner way over here. So we don't have to worry about that. But I'm going to lay the fabrics out so I get to see what colors, patterns that I want to use to put this together. Because the one thing I really wanted to do, bring that back. Okay. One thing I really wanted to do is to have multiple colors to really make this pop. Okay. So okay, that there, this. All right. So I think I'm going to go a medium dark. I'll put this one here. Then I need another solid. So I will put maybe this one here. And then I need to get another one of my half square triangles and put it on the end. And this half square triangle goes this way. Yes. All right. So now I'm going to put these two together and stitch 1/4 inch. And let me tell you, I have to look at this chart to put this together. Because if I don't, I will not know what to do. Okay, the darker color is the bigger square. Well, it's a toss-up. Okay, so put this here. Now, we know this goes on the end, so now I put it on top of this fabric. And here we go. Another 1/4 inch seam. And that's what I was telling you. If you've done the half square triangles, the rest of this goes together so easily. Press the seam to the dark. Here we go. All right, so now that goes here. Well, I know from the instructions that these two get sewn together. So I will just flip this over to here. I will line this up. The only seam you have to match is one for the last square. All right. Sew that with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So don't worry, I'll make sure you get this chart so that you know exactly how to put everything together. And once you see the final result, it'll all make perfect sense. Okay, I'm pressing them to the dark. Okay, now if you happen to notice that these now are the same depth. So yes, this now gets sewn to this. And it's important to follow the chart because it makes the sewing of these so much better because the seams don't normally match up like a normal block does. So it's important to follow the chart. And the chart shows what to sew to who, so don't worry. I made sure to cut out the pieces and make it clear. So now this is what we have. Any guesses? The quilt's about 20, 21, 22 without the border. All right, so this one goes here. Now, then we need 3 of the blocks. And I think I'm going to put I'll put the extra dark one here. And then, oh, this is a cool pattern. I think I'll come in with some of this because I want the leaves to sparkle. So 1, 2, I need a third one. I think I'll pick this nice. Boy, these fabrics are great. So I'll sew these together first. Hi, Laura. I know, time flies, girlfriend. I can't believe it. So I'm going to have I was telling them, Laura, that I'm going to have my Thursday night art thing, but then I'm going to go out of town to see my grandbabies. So next Sunday, don't count on me being here. I'll be driving home that day, and I think I'm just going to be wiped out. I'm driving 6 hours down on Friday and 6 hours back on Sunday. And let me tell you, if the traffic is not, I have to go on 95. I hate going on I-95. But if the traffic is bad, it could take me up to 9 hours. So we'll see. All right, so this goes like this. Then I need another half square triangle on the outside. And I think it might be a good time to use this. And this one goes this way this time. Okay? That way. So I'll go ahead and stitch this on so I don't lose it. Once I make that decision, I'm going to stick with it. All right, real quick, we're almost done. We only have 2 short rows to go. Okay, all right, so there's that. Now I need another row with 1, 2, 3, because here's the chart. I did this one. Now I'm doing this one. 1, 2, 3 solids with a half square. All righty, where are my solids? Here are my solids. My solid squares, not solid fabric. All right. Now, I like to see what choices we have. Okay, this one would probably go best there, so I bounce this around. Then maybe this one here next. And, should I do a dark one? I think that might be good. And then that's all of my, okay, so I'm not going to use these. All right, I'm okay with that. So now I'm going to take and sew these blocks together. And you noticed I cut a couple extra of each of the 3 colorways because I never knew, I don't know until I start to put it together how I want this to be. So I think I'll put this as this last half square triangle. Yes, and it goes this way. So I'll put these 2 together. Now I'm just coming up with the color combinations just kind of on the spur of the moment. You might want to do some, oh my, okay. So I'm going to get my wooden iron and do this. All right, then I'll put these 2 together. We're almost done. Okay, now, so here we go. Now all we have to do is put our solid square at the end and then put 2 solid square, oops, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then Wait a minute. Okay, I need 3 down here. Okay. I was getting confused. I think I'll put a dark one here, and this one's going to go like this. Then the next one is going to go, whoops, nope, like this. Then the next one is going to go like this. Okay, so let me stitch these real quickly. And what this, as you can tell with the 4 colorways, you're going to be making 4 blocks and then it's done. So easy peasy, because you know, I know we all have a lot going on, and so this is just a way to celebrate fall but not get too overwhelmed. Okay, so this goes this way, then this. Yeah, this is right. Okay. For a moment, I thought, what in the world? Okay. All right, so this goes here. So what I'll do, quickly sew these 2 together to make a 4-piece row. Okay. And quickly just do the wooden iron here. Now, I'm going to take and sew this row to this row. See how I just flip it over? And these are going to have to line up. So you may wish to pin them, or if you're in a big hurry like me, line them up the best you can and hope for the best. Okay, but you can kind of, you can kind of check as you're sewing. Right as they're going under the needle, make sure. Yeah, and some of these seams are nestling right in because the seam allowances go the opposite way. Though that's my favorite way, is to be able to have them nestle. All right, so here goes, whoops. Here's this row. I mean, these 2 rows. Okay, and I'm going to do something really quickly. I am going to give this a quick reel iron. It's great to do wooden irons, but when you want this thing to really look good, sometimes you got to put the real heat to it. If your iron had been on, come on, iron. All right, so we know this goes this way, okay? So now we take this and we sew it, okay? Just line up your blocks. But these are pretty easy. This is, I don't know, this is not a complicated. When I saw this, I thought, oh. Now, if you like this pattern and you want the real pattern, remind me to tell you where to find it because it makes a bigger quilt. I just pulled out 4 blocks because I knew I didn't have time to make a big quilt this year. I love the new decor. Every season I try to make a new piece. My hope is to one day have a house full of, every holiday I'll pull out a whole box full of stuff and decorate the house. Okay? Come on. Okay. Now I'm going to give this a good iron. Oh, yeah. Now the iron's heated up. All right. So now what you'll notice is this and this are the same measurements. Okay. So now I'm going to put these. So these two together, you only have to match one of the seam. Put it. I told you it would be easy. Once you make the half square triangles, the rest is easy, easy, easy. Okay. Now let me iron this real fast. All right. Now, so if you look at the diagram, you would see that you have this, and you have this, and you have this, and you have this. And if you're not careful how you sew it, how in the world would you put it together? You could put this on the end of this, but then what with this? So that's why I have them listed. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, which I guess you put both of these together, and then this one. But as you can see, it's if you just join things back up. Hi, Sonia. Uh-oh. Did I have a... Oh, I see this. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Well, as you probably guessed, yes, these are leaves. So let me figure this out. This one I turned wrong, right? Yep. It's supposed to go this way. All right. Real quickly. That's why they make seam rippers. And let me just quickly unhook this and turn it. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Yay. Thank you. Hi, Michelle the Quilter. Thank you for seeing that, hon. Thank you. I love it when y'all catch these mistakes because I might as well catch. The sooner you catch something, the easier it is to fix, you know? The worst thing is to have it on the quilt frame and then catch your mistake. Oh, I've done that before. Okay, let me just, normally I try to be real careful because have you ever felt like, hey, you had that seam ripper just right and you're just zooming along, cutting the threads and you realize, oh, you cut the fabric, not the threads. I've done that a zillion times. Okay. Let me release it here. Okay. As soon as I finish putting these together, I'm going to show you my Jenny Beyer borders. And some of them are probably 30 years old. And then I'll show you my wonderful kits that I've been waiting to use. Okay, so now I have to look at this. And I have to look at the photo. And that shows me that this is supposed to be turned this way. Yay! Thank you so much. Sharp. We'll call her Eagle Eyes Michelle. That was wonderful you caught that. Okay, so I just kind of pull this loose from the edges. You have to have that 1/4 of an inch free to sew these two edges together. This is a good way to show you, okay, what if I make a mistake? Okay. Let me see. Oops. Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. I was looking at one of my videos the other day, and I realized that sometimes I move the camera around so much, it's really irritating, and I apologize for that. So I'm going to try to do better. All right, here we go. So now I've got the 1/4 inch seam allowances on both pieces released. I'll come in here, stitch this. Now, what I'm going to do then, whoops, let me get you back up a little. Okay. So what I'm going to do then, I've got this sewn back on, okay? Whoops, I didn't get a full 1/4 inch seam allowance. Let me go back over it one more time. All right. All right. Now, what I do, it's still a little wonky. I'll try to, it's hard sometimes when I'm trying to put this back in. I flipped it over so I can get a full 1/4 inch because I felt like I couldn't get to it right. So, much, much better. So now I'm going to sew this, okay? So this is how you put a patch in when you've turn something around when you've got it wrong. You connect it to its row first. Then once you've connected it to the end of its row, then you come, see, now put this row over, connect it to this row. And let me just watch my seam allowances, make sure they match up. Okay, whoops. Okay. And this might not be perfect, but I'm doing this quickly on the go. And I'm sure that you would take more time because this one's pretty good. This one's not quite as good, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So now I'm going to bring this up a little. Okay, let me press it real fast. Thank you for catching that. All right. Okay, here we go. So here this is now, and thank goodness it's the correct way. Now this one goes right up here. Let me press this side. Okay. Now this is pressed, and so this flips onto this, and here we go sewing. All right. And this is the last seam, then the block is complete. So see, this is not taking that long to do. Once you've made the half square triangles, which is such good practice. Half square triangles teach you about sewing on the diagonal. It teaches you how to trim the seams so you don't have the bunny ears showing. Okay. And I love it because you sew up the diagonal on each side of the diagonal line and you end up with 2 blocks. All right. So now let me press this. And I even press the back because you want everything to lay as flat as possible. So you get the back where you know that the seams are going the direction they're supposed to. All right. So here is the block. And I'm assuming this is a maple leaf. So I'm going to get ready and do a Y seam, but it's not going to be hard. So let me show you, and then I will hold this up and let you see the whole quilt. Okay, this block is going to come in at this angle. So what I'm first going to do, you just pick a side, okay, because it's right in this V of the fabric. You pick a side, you make sure, see how I stopped sewing 1/4 inch in? Because then these have to match up. Put them under the needle. And sew all the way from that edge across. All right, now let's see what seams have to match. This has to match right here, okay? Just come on down here. Anytime you don't have a piece of, like, see when I was putting on the border, I left at least 1/4 of an inch there so I could get this next piece put on perfectly. All right, going through. Sue Smith, hi, sweetie. Oh, how good to see you. Oh, I'm so happy. And Mary's here. Just a happy day. All right. So now I put this together. Now what I end up, since I have, it's 4 blocks. Now what I do is fold this together this way. And since you have that 1/4 inch there, see how I have the ability to work these right into line, make sure it's going to match up right here. But Y seams are not hard. If you just remember to leave the 1/4 of an inch, don't sew one all the way down until you have your pieces put together evenly and smoothly. And even here, you see with the border, I left it back so I could put these pieces together and sew all the way to the end. Okay. All right, almost ready to show you. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this border down this side. So, now which way this is supposed to, I'm just making sure that my seam allowances is tucked the right way. I'm glad I checked that. Then I'm just going to sew this border on all the way down to the end. Okay, trim that. Then I'm going to come here, trim off, see where I ran it a little long. So I'm going to trim that. Okay. Now, just press it with my fingers real quick. And then I'm going to sew the last bit of border into place. I was really proud of myself this week because I got all of my prep done for both Thursday night and Sunday. And I said, boy, that felt good. Honestly, I think it's because I got this room done and I can find things and I'm enjoying it. All right. Normally, I like to sew on top of the binding, but I think I better do from this side. It's going to be a little tricky. Some of my seam allowances are going to be in the way. Let me find a stiletto. I like using bamboo stilettos because if the needle hits it, it probably won't break the needle and it won't jam the machine. The wood will give before the needle does. I don't like metal stilettos. I feel like they're too dangerous. Okay, so now I'm going to use the stiletto because I want to hold this seam allowance down because I'm kind of coming across the wrong direction, but I've got no choice. So, okay, then I sew down. I hold this one down. Okay, I want to make sure I'm nice and straight. The stiletto can really, really help you get good, straight, accurate seams. especially when you have the seam allowance going in a direction where the needle would want to pull it up. Okay, last couple inches. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Let me bring this up. All right. I will be putting this diagram on the website as soon as the show is over. And then I'll show you these blocks. And I have the instructions. You don't have to worry. Okay. There's one thing I haven't done to these yet, but I won't do it today. I'll probably prepare the fabric and take it upstairs and do it by hand. But let me, isn't this cute? Nice seeing you, Carol. Take care, sweetheart. Thank you for your help. You're such a great moderator, let me tell you. Okay, so now I'm just sewing this all nice and flat. And I have to add leaf stems. But once I add the leaf stems, then this is just a matter of an easy quilting on my domestic because it's a small piece, or I can put it on the frame. And then I have that easy. I have a brand new decoration. I might hang it on my front door. This is cute as can be. All right. So are you ready? Here we go with the mystery quilt. It is now solved. Here it is. Isn't that cute? So here it is. And I love the fabric I chose for the border because look, it's leaves and it's the colors of the colorways in the quilt. So this would be a fun quilt to take either variegated thread or different colors for each block. This could be something fun. Now, see, and it all came from my scraps. Every fabric came from the scraps because you don't need a big piece. So, and I love how the leaves are sparkly with all the different colors. What do you think? And see, with my green leaf, you want to show it's fall. So you pick some of the olives and the yellowy greens where the leaf is starting to, relax. Now, there's one thing you might want to add, and that is stems for the leaves. Now, the original pattern, okay, so let me show you, and I can send you, for everyone on our site, I'll put them on the site. There you go. Just give you ideas. And then here, the red is on this page, which shows you what sizes to cut. The blocks finish out at 10. They finish at 10. They're 10.5 inches. Because, you take a half inch from the finish to the other. So I will make sure that I scan all these colorways in, put those on the site with the diagram, which gives you the rest of the instructions and then shows you how to lay it out, to stitch it together. All right. Now I'll tell you where this pattern came from. Because I was going to work up a pattern, and I saw this, and it was a free pattern. I wrote to them and asked them if I could show this to my small YouTube group. I never heard from them. So maybe I sent it to a dead email. I don't know. But that's why I redid the pattern myself and the instructions myself, so I didn't step on anyone's toes. But if you would like the real pattern for this, I'll now share where you can find it. And it is shabbyfabrics.com. And I doubt they'll watch this, but if they do, please tell them I did write them an email to ask permission. And because this is a free pattern, but it's free to you. It's not, use this pattern and share it with thousands. You have to have permission. So Jennifer Bosworth was the wonderful quilt designer who did this in 2016. So just to show you, this is one idea for the quilt stems. So you could have the quilt stem go here and down to here, and then one here and curvy to there. I'm thinking about doing something like this, or maybe making it like a heart. So I have to decide. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I want to do something creative. I may use some of my pretty sparkly yarns as a stem, and I may do fabric cut on the bias though, because if you're going to have any curve to it all, cut it on the bias, which is the 45-degree angle, and you can cut it 1.25 inches wide, put a 1/4 inch seam allowance down, like make a long tube, take a sewing, a safety pin, clip it on, turn it inside out, press it real good, and then put it in the shape you want. But I think it's a really sweet quilt, and I really like it. And if I want to put it on my door where it's got to be stiffer, then I'll use the thickest interfacing called buckram. I'll put buckram behind it when I stitch it, and that'll give it the stiffness it needs. But you can hang it on a wall, you can make it into a pillow, whatever makes your heart happy. All right, so that is our mystery quilt. And we're all done except for the stem. Now, some people who do embroidery stitches on the machine can do the stem with embroidery stitches. The one thing I caution you, though, is make sure you put interfacing on the back, because any stitching you do from the front, if it's not quilting, because see, with quilting, you have the batting and the backing. But if you're just going to do embroidery or decorative stitches on the front of this, cover the back with fusible interfacing to stiffen it so it won't pucker. All righty, and then just aside, I got myself a piece of paper, I've got a marker, and I'm going to try different stem designs and see what really makes me happy. So I hadn't decided that in person. I even found some wonderfully dark brown fabric that would make a wonderful stem. So just remember to cut it at a 45-degree angle. All right, so that part's done. And now it's August 21st, a whole month ahead of fall, and I've got mostly done fall decoration. Love it, love it. All right, and then these leftover blocks I didn't use can go back in my scrap basket or can be used as leaders for sewing, especially half square triangles. All right, here we go. Oh, this is heavy stuff. All right, these are my patterns. These are my border prints, and I've got another whole container of border prints. So are you ready? Here we go. All right, here is an ancient border print. I got this off of eBay. And I would love to know how old it is, but it's old. And I like it because it's a miniature. Because not many of her border prints are miniature, and this is great for making small quilts. But you can see here, it's an old one. Here's a beautiful Christmas one. And I love Jenny Beyer because she makes these borders. Now, you can have nice borders for your quilt, but with a little tool like this Marty Mitchell mirror, which is not a real mirror. It's not glass, it's acrylic. Let me show you what you can do with a border print. You can take and find a place to put this mirror, and by turning it, you can create all kinds of kaleidoscopic designs. Look at this. Look what you can do with this. So border prints are great to divide up, but they're also pretty amazing to make brand new patterns, brand new designs. Let me put it like right here. So anyway, but this border prints and this are amazing. Okay, so here is, and this is not a very big piece, but I think I've got more of this somewhere. This is a very, very early border print that I just have a scrap of. I have got a box of Jenny Beyer scraps, and I have a feeling she used to have a basket at her shop where she would put the little scraps like this, and you could buy them for just pennies. And here is another border. Now, I don't know why I have just such a small piece. That's the only problem. Here is another one. I'm hoping that some of these are what's left over. This is another early one. I can tell because the feel of the fabric. Her earlier prints, the Symphony, I wish she had put dates on them, by Jenny Beyer. But this has a little rougher of a feel than her later. But I want to show you something. Some of the things that her earlier border print had that her later ones didn't was tiny little attention to detail. So beautiful. Look at that one compared to this one. See the difference? And so that's why I'm so glad to have some of these early ones. And now this has a different kind of feel. Let me see what the name, Coventry. This was Coventry. And I just love the purple and orange. Then this is his Yapper. Japper. It's a place in India because she got the idea for her colors and designs from India. This was used in a quilt pattern. That's a scrap I have left over. Here is Calamantan. I love this. Now I'm going to show you another very early one. And I love this one because it's also good to use with miniature quilts. But I remember when these colors were popular. And this was way, way back in the early 90s. So here it is right here. Petite Treasures by Jenny Beyer. This is Petite Treasures, so it was made to be for miniature quilts. All right. Oh, I love this fabric. I adore this. Yes, it's the older colors, but oh my gosh, is that just beautiful? I think she used this pattern line for her own bedroom. She made a beautiful quilt for her bed. Border Basics. Oh, this was early on too. All right, and here's a bigger piece of that other that I already showed you. And look at this. I think this went with Golden Harvest, she called this. But I was thinking it looks like it goes... I don't know. It could actually go with this one too because both have pink. Here is a very early. What I did is when I fell in love with Jenny Beyer, I went on eBay. This is Edgemore. I went on eBay and found people selling prints. So I was able to go back pretty far back to find some of her prints. This one is Shades of Autumn. Boy, that's pretty. And it's very appropriate for right now. Oh, I love this one. This one has a Southwest feel. I remember buying this one in the shop, and I had never seen a fabric with a Southwestern feel like this. What's the name? Uh-oh. I don't think this has a marked salvage. Oh, here we go. High Desert. Yep, it was supposed to be a Southwest design. So, okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this, I bet you, was made to go with... Although, you know what? That's miniature. This is a bigger version of it. Very similar with the colors. Okay. So let me put these away real quick, and I'll get the other tub of borders. But, oh, wait a minute. I took out a handful and didn't show you all of them. This is another early one. Petite. Oh, another miniature. Petite Treasures. I need to keep my... Oh, and this one must be two. I'm a good collector of Petite Treasures. So I'm going to keep my three Petites together. But... So what I do when I make a quilt is I first thing look and see if I have a Jenny Beyer border that would make a good border for the quilt. Okay, here are all my Petites in green, navy, and burgundy. All right, let me put these away real fast. Whoop. And grab my other container. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Here is a beautiful border, and it looks like I have used a good bit of this in a quilt. This one is Casablanca. I loved this fabric line, and I used that in a quilt somewhere. But do you notice something with the Jenny Beyer fabrics? And that is they're very saturated with color. Very saturated. Here is an extremely early one that I bought. It's called Yuletide for Jenny Beyer. And I love looking at the selvages from back then. They all have a different look. Oh, here's another pretty one. As you can tell, blue is my color. This one is called Mardi Gras. And 2006. This one actually had a date on it. Mardi Gras, 2006. Oh, I love that. I got to make a quilt to go with that. Then here, this was from her Australian line, Outback, I believe. And I bought this in the shop itself, I'm pretty sure. Where is it marked? Okay, here it is. Outback by Jenny Beyer, 2010. I consider this one of my new ones. 2010. Oh, look at this one. Verano. And I love this because it has that kind of midnight garden look, you know? Oh, I've got some more of this. Then I can do all kinds of quilting with this. All right. And I forgot what this one was. Border Basics. Okay. And here is another really early one. Border Basics. So these came along relatively similar time frame. Here's another Christmas border. And this one, this one's Millennium by Jenny Beyer. So I can tell you what year this was. If it's Millennium, this was 2000. So, as you see, I have quite a few Jenny Beyer borders to use. Here's, I even saved the Jenny Beyer bag. Am I just a little obsessed with Jenny Beyer or what? But I'm so grateful because, let me move this one. So grateful because she really brought me back to quilting. And I have found just so much passion in doing this quilting. And that's why I love sharing it with you. So now is the exciting part. Here are the quilt kits that I bought. I even saw one on Sew It's for Sale last week at they had a kit, but I went, nope, I don't need any more. I've got enough to finish. But it's like you see a Jenny Beyer kit and you think, I must have it. This is Arabic tiles, and I got the table runner because this is so complicated. And I mean, each of those diamonds, you have to go around with the thin little border. Then you've got to do the kaleidoscopes and all of that. And I said, I'll get a table runner, thank you. That's a little bit much. Here is stained glass star, and this became the symbol for her shop. And I have it mostly made. I'm going to finish it. I'll have to pull that out for you next week. Then, one year for Christmas, I wanted to do tumbling blocks. And this was an interesting version of that. So I asked for this for Christmas. Oh, and this has a jelly roll of her fabrics. Ooh. But can you believe these have been just sitting here for who knows how long? So let me see. Let me see if this has a year on it or a date. Nope. This is called a crayon box quilt kit. Crayon box quilt kit. Okay. And this one is snowbirds. This is a wonderful thing that comes with her palette. So you have one of each of her palette colors. Let me see if this has a date on it. Nope. I think she didn't put a date on it. Oh, here we go. I have the date I bought it. 2000. I think I need to get this made. It's only 22 years old. Come on. All right. So I got that. And then, oh, I love this one. I can't wait to make this one. This is called, is it the Garden Medallion or the Medallion? This is, she has a garden with this quilt garden designed by Jenny Beyer. That's what that fabric. I have a bunch of that fabric, but that's what that's for. But this is called Quilt Garden. And she actually has this done in stones and mosaics in her garden with a fountain. Yes, I've been to her house too. She does garden tours, bless her heart, to raise money for the Virginia Quilt Museum. Then this is gorgeous. Serendipity. This is 2001. So these were all before I got my divorce. And I guess it took me a while to get my life organized again, but serendipity. And my final one, the very favorite quilt pattern of my entire life. The one that brought me back to quilting. And what year is this? Some of you probably have guessed which one this is. But Moon Glow. This is my very favorite quilt that I've ever seen. This one is the be-all, end-all as far as I'm concerned. It is the best. And the colors, and the richness. And this was a $220 kit. It was not cheap. But do you see all of the instruction pages that come with it? So it was a block of a month. It looks like she had it for at some point in time. You have to be really careful. It says, do not take this kit apart because the fabrics are in order and you want to make sure you don't get them confused. But this one, I was telling somebody one time that I've been waiting to become a better quilter before I did this, but I'm 66 years old now. And if I had gone ahead and made it back then, it might not be perfect, but I would have enjoyed it for 20 years. So that one, this year, I guarantee you, this year, I'm going to start that quilt. Well, I think I need to get busy. Yes, I do. I think I'm going to get ready and say goodbye to you today. Thank you for spending this time with me. Make sure you do something creative just for you because there's nothing like what being creative does for your soul. Take good care of yourself. You mean a lot to us. You can't take care of others unless you're taking care of yourself first. So be good to yourself and have a great week. And hopefully I'll see y'all on Thursday night before I head out to my grandson's. I got a lot of packing to do. All right. Take good care, Jody. I'm so glad you're feeling better. Thank you, everyone, for spending this time with me today. Bye-bye. Y'all are the best. Happy quilting. Bye-bye.